Now that I got a nice base coat down, you know, I'm just trying to like do these little half quarter circles, you know what I mean? Create this little like round effect, because apparently everything in space is round due to gravity. That remains to be seen, obviously, in reality. But, you know, for a painting, it's a good way to go. I think that obviously the straight lines across the back would have looked horrendous, and, you know, yeah, not good. Just not good. And that's why I'm doing this, you know, trying to just give it a little curve to it, show like maybe the effects of gravity in a way I best can, because obviously you can't see gravitational waves. I'm not an idiot. Physics is one of my favorite subjects, probably behind chemistry. I like to know how the universe functions, but I also like to know what it's made out of better for some reason. Something I really am excited for is like quantum chemical equations and things like that. Not just like why it does it, you know what I mean? It's a little... Quantum chemistry is like one of those sciences that just doesn't even really exist anymore. Or not anymore, but at all right now, you know? Which I kind of understand why it doesn't make a lot of... It's like hard to wrap your head around that, you know? We talk about all these particles like bosons and quarks and stuff like that, but when you really think about it, that's like a chemistry on just like a whole nother inconceivable scale that humans just aren't ready for. I feel like once we like bridge all the sciences together, we'll probably get there, you know what I mean? And at that point we'll have like a fucking a much vaster understanding of how everything works, probably too. And now that we got this nice round look to it, I'm gonna start adding stars, and I'm just gonna use titanium white, you know, with a really tiny brush, a 10-0, you know, because why would I use anything bigger? They're stars after all. I am gonna try and make this like bulge in the center, obviously, because I feel, as most people know, there's always the star cluster in the center to most galaxies. Maybe not all of them. Oh no, I'm mixing my colors in the tube. Son of a bitch. I probably should wait for this to dry, but you know, I don't really have time for that, because I'm trying to like shell these videos out. Fun fact about oil paintings, they don't dry that fast. They rely on oxidation for the paints to dry. They don't just dry. Try and spread this out. I just globbed it on. Yeah, it's gonna, like, at this point I don't mind the Prussian blue getting in there, because like that just like a kind of a creates this like a spacing for the cluster. But I'm trying to make it relatively uniform to show that it's a cluster, while also not like making it have this mixed where it's just Payne's gray and white, or globbed on white either, because like that's just not good. Something I find that I have lots of issues with painting is not touching the canvas. Oh my god. I don't know what it is. Like I like to steady myself on it. And yeah. not the way to go. Not the way to go. Don't steady yourself on the canvas. Try and elbow the table or something, you know. For someone who says he's like pretty good at physics, I'm not very good at creating a spiral galaxy here, huh? Good thing I can just sell it as an NFT and make $0 long term. Right? I'm trying to do this like double arm thing. I don't know if you can see that, like the one side here going outward. And this is why I use a big brush, or a big brush. I use a smaller brush also, because like I have this like terrible habit of spreading these paints. I'm like better depending on what I'm doing, like if I've done it before. Obviously, when you have some experience doing stuff, you do a little bit better. And I can't like splatter paint this like I would like to, because like I feel like splatter painting stars is obviously a lot easier. It gets like this, like that, like a natural look to it. Right now I'm just doing circles with dots, you know, and it's just too uniform to be real. I should have done like this like 3-2-1 thing, where I just 3-2-1 the dots and a double band out from the cluster. And at this point, because at this point it just looks like I'm making like this like a uniform circle outward, I feel like, and that's just really not what I'm trying to do. But as is art, you never do quite what you want. I think everyone that does art knows that like they're not probably gonna get the exact result they were looking for when they started. Some people who do like super realistic stuff might get what they're looking for a little bit better, and I would love to be able to do that, but I am just not at that stage. And I feel like even then you don't get what you're trying to convey perfect. And I feel like that's also where like these artists are like, oh, I hate my art, oh, it's so terrible, because it's just not what they're trying to convey from their mind. They can see it in their head. Like I like to think that I can see what I'm trying to do in my mind, but conveying that to like muscle cues and everything else is a lot more difficult than it sounds. And at this point, yeah, see, we're just getting this like spiral circle pattern with these dots. And I should probably project it out to create the arm.